Good afternoon from planet Earth. This is the episode 1 of Getting Stoned with your host, Stone Petoskey. Let me break this down for you a little bit here. This is a Petoskey stone. Alright? It's a polished side. Super cool, right? So it's a fossil. Hundreds of millions of years old. And it's found on the shores of Lake Michigan. And there's a town called Petoskey. It's a Native American word. And that's the place where I was born. So that's why it's Stone Petoskey. And I figured, we'd call this show Getting Stoned. Now, obviously, right off you're thinking, right? I know you're thinking that. So let me break that down for you a little bit too. Getting stoned. Well, it's obviously smoking grass. Mary Jane, ganja, whatever name you want to call it. Rolling a spliff. How about that? So as I see it, with all plant medicines, it's a gift to us, to humanity, from Mother Earth to I don't know, what do you think? I mean, so many different uses for it, right? I mean, it's actually quite a miracle of a plant. So, and I suspect that over time we'll talk more about it in detail and explore different things. And at some point, I hope to have guests on this show, and we'll talk to them and see what their thoughts are. But as with all things that you take into your body, do so as an adult, do it responsibly, be mindful, be aware. I don't want it to seem as if I'm suggesting otherwise. So that's kind of the quick synopsis of the getting stoned. Of course, there's also another meaning to getting stoned, right? I mean, and who would want to get stoned? Nobody I know. That's for damn sure. So it's kind of got a double meaning here. It's kind of crazy to think about, right? That we actually would do something like that to each other. And that's one of the crazy things about human beings. We've got this whole, we're so full of the yin and the yang, the contradictions, right? On the one hand, we can just be incredibly creative and compassionate and altruistic, and then on the other hand, we get all this trouble up inside our heads, and we actually think that it makes sense to throw stones at one another. So it's kind of a trippy thing, the human being, the human animal, for sure. So right now, today, actually, it's April 4th. This was the day my grandmother passed. Her name was Ruth. We called her Granny. She was quite a remarkable woman. So I say a huge prayer of gratitude, Granny, for being who you are and who you were, and sharing your beautiful soul with the world, and most especially your family. I feel incredibly grateful to have been blessed by your presence in my life. So, peace out to Granny. She is definitely resting in peace. So I often wear t-shirts. I love t-shirts, right? So I got one on today. Just threw this one on. Mahatma Gandhi, one of my favorite people, right? First they ignore you, and then they laugh at you, and then they fight you, and then you win. So I'm a big fan of the revolutionaries of the world, modern day and days gone by, man. Power to the people is where I'm coming from on that. So I know it's probably not going to want to sit and listen to me ramble on too much, but that's sometimes my nature. So I like to write poems. I like to read poems. So I'm gonna open up the book here, and I'm gonna read us a poem. It's from the Outlaw Bible of American poetry. So we'll give it a whirl try a couple of these, right? Why not? Let's see, this one is by a poet named A.D. Winans. All right. It's goes a little something like this. It's called "The System." Now, I've never read this poem out loud before, so I'm just winging it, right? That's how life is. We just kind of take it moment by moment. Right? What's that thing? How's it go? It's like the past is history, the future is a mystery. The only thing that's real is the present. That's why they call it a gift. Something like that. I might have roughed that one up a little bit, but you catch the drift on that one, right? All right. So, A.D. Winans, "The System." There are old men and women who have worked all their lives, who have put in 3-4 decades for the right to a pension. There are old people who have worked 20 years or more, only to be laid off and given 2 weeks severance pay. There are old people who have worked their entire lives, only to see the company go belly up and find there is no pension fund left. You can find them on park benches or wandering sterile supermarkets or sitting at neighborhood bars, nursing their drinks like a blood transfusion. They come in assorted flavors, like lifesavers. Some thin and balding, some fat and sweating, some complaining bitterly, some too proud to let that pain show. So proud they eat dog food and find dessert in back alley garbage cans. Trapped by a belief in a system that has abandoned them. For the most part, they suffer in silence, duly unnoticed, to be carted off in meat wagons, waiting to be cut open by coroners who see them as morning cereal, who go about their business like a butcher, thinking of dinner, thinking of how it used to be, how it might have been, how it should have been, how it could have been. It's the way of life. It's the way of politicians. It's the way of rats and mice. It's the system where just trying to stay alive becomes a small victory. Damn, that was some deep shit right there. Woo! Man, oh man. A.D. Winans throwing down on that. It's kind of crazy, open up to that. And we'll read probably one more here before the show's over. But how prescient that is for this today, for what's going on right now. I mean, we're in the midst of this virus, and it's sweeping the world. There's none that I know of, nowhere humanity is that isn't touched by this in some way, and that in and of itself is incredibly profound. To be sure, makes you think of all kinds of things, and we could go in 1,000 different directions, and then maybe we will over the coming days. But I guess for me, just to kind of dial in tight on something specific. I find it interesting, most fascinating, that at this time, it's only the humans that are suffering. The rest of the planet, the animals, the plants, they're actually catching a break. Except for those animals that are in the factory farms, and those animals, of course, they just keep getting, they keep suffering. That's not fun. to say the least. Oh, there's a bunny rabbit walking outside. Well, I should have talked a little bit about the studio here, so I'll do that real quick before I jump back to that other topic. So we're in Studio Coco. It's a 1985 Westphalia Van de Gogh, and her name's Coco, and she takes us all around. She's our transportation to a higher elevation and a new relation that keeps the fascination and the celebration happening. Right on. So in any case, yeah, it's the humans that are suffering right now, and the rest of life is going on actually, better. We've heard some stories that, some of the animals are coming down into towns, and the air is cleaner. Places you can see with the pollution in the air is diminished, and making a big difference in that regard. And so that's an aspect of this that I really find fascinating myself, is that this is something that's touching the human animal and basically creating more suffering for us, but the rest of the earth is actually healing, So I think that's something that really bears thinking on, and somebody the other day said, like, threw out a challenge to sum up the circumstances in one sentence, and there's some really fascinating ones. I can't recall them, but I do remember mine. Oddly enough, that's no surprise, right? I said it was like Mother Earth put the human into the corner for a timeout, right? So that's one of those things where, to me, that's there's some real, like, spiritual profundity, if you will, about that. What's going on right now around the world. So yeah, but like I said, we could have gone in 100,000. We could have taken it anywhere, right? We could have gone any number of places with it, and I'm hoping to do one of these episodes for a few minutes each day, and we'll keep we'll speak on it. How can we not, right? I mean, we're all feeling this. We're all feeling this, and like that poem spoke to, it's, people. There's millions of Americans and people all over the world, certainly, who are out of work, and that's makes you kind of wonder, like, the system, like the title of that poem. It's kind of to me it begs us to ask: is this the kind of system? Is this the best system design? I mean, this is some heavy lyrics, right? I think about this stuff a lot, like, since we're creative animals and we have this neocortex and what have you on our brain, and we can be smart, but it seems like a lot of times, a lot of times we're not. We're foolish, short-sighted and unmindful. So we've created this system that's in place right now, and I mean, there's a lot about it that, to me, just doesn't make any sense. It's very much a distorted way of organizing ourselves, in my view. It's kind of crazy to think about that, but I think it's important. I think it's important to do that. So, you got your own thoughts, and that's one thing I would love to be able to have conversation, dialogue, communication, talking, and exploring new ideas, and diving deep, and kind of stretching yourself and getting out of your comfort zone, and just letting it, just pushing those boundaries, and just getting in there and getting dirty and getting all gnarly with it. I think that's one of the pleasures of life, when we stay stuck in what makes us comfortable and it's safe and feels good, we don't grow, right? We can't expand our awareness and utilize that growth mindset and challenge ourselves. And I think that's one of the most precious aspects of being a human, and living a life is the capacity with all of our senses, the sight and sound and taste and touch and all that stuff is it's a beautiful thing to be able to live and engage in the world. And that's another crazy thing about what's going on right now is so much of that has been taken from us by this. So much deep stuff here with this. So much deep stuff. I really, my hope is that we use this as an opportunity to look into one another's eyes and really see that see yourself reflected there. That's the deep stuff. That interbeing part of life is where it's at, man. It's a web of life, make no mistake. And this again shows us that everything is connected to everything else, and that's irrefutable, in my view. And we need to really think about that and let that sink in, and then again design a system that honors that. You just can't have all this growth. I mean, the planet is it's a finite situation here. There's only so much of everything. It's not an endless supply. So you can't just grow endlessly in an environment that's finite, right? I don't know. So anyways, lots of food for thought, lots of things to think about. I don't want to do too much of a deep dive because I go on and on and on. This stuff is so interesting to me, so passionate about it. And what kind of world we're creating, and what kind of world that we want to leave our children and our grandchildren. And there's that Native American principle of the seventh generation, and the choices you make today are made in honor and respect for those generations that are coming, right? And so we need to be like custodians or of things, or a shepherd, in a sense, where it's like we're really caring for the blessings that we have, right? I mean, we as an animal, as a human being, we get only get to do what we're doing because of countless the cooperation of countless life forms, from the bacteria and the worms in the soil to the gorgeous trees. And it's our life is only possible because they are doing their thing and sharing it unconditionally with us. And again, it's about that interbeing thing, and it's I just think that's just a foundational truth of existence, and we seem, this modern world seems to have forgotten that. Kind of, we've lost our way as far as I'm concerned. So here we are kicking it. This is kind of different. I'm just going for this because I figure, why not, right? It's like, why not? This is my life, right? This is our life. This is your life. So you want to jump in, and we have all the opportunity. I'm not scrounging for my next meal. I mean, I live a very simple life, but it's good fortune has smiled upon me, and so I've got a good job, and I have my health. Most importantly, I'm healthy, and I can get in there and get after life. And so this has been something I've been wanting to do for a long time. And for anyone who listens, I don't even imagine, maybe there ain't gonna be nobody that listens, but if you're listening, I want to say a huge thank you to you for taking your precious time to sit here with me and kick it. that's something, you know, you could do. There's any number of things you could do with your time, and you've chosen to sit here and share some of it with me, and that is something I'm immensely grateful for. So much love to you all, man. It's genuine. I'm sending a big hug, a big hug coming, man. Big hug right from here. We got this here, you know. Peace, y'all. Come on now, right? Peace. So something else I like to do is just play the guitar. I'm just all right. Ain't nothing. Yeah, just all right. 3 chords and a beat up 6 string, and you know, I just kind of enjoy it. It's the way that I like to engage with the world, you know, and just spend some time and be creative, right? So I'm gonna try to integrate this into each show, a tune or two. You know, I got some of my own, and you know, I like to, you know, sing other people's songs, learn them, and sing them, and I don't know, man. I feel like I want to do one, you know, one of my own, but I can't think of which one. I guess it don't matter, right? Whichever one is the right one. So let me see. Gosh, right. I mean, I should have thought of this. I should have figured out which one I wanted to play first before I even started, right? That would have been a good idea. I don't know. This is the one that keeps popping into my head. So I haven't played this one in a long time. I hope I don't mess it up, but if I do, I'll just pick it up as I go. It's I don't even know why I'm thinking of this song. It trips me out. But anyways, I like to go with whatever's, you know, stay in the moment, stay present in the moment. So that's what I'm doing with this. So this is a song called "Going to War," and I wrote it a number of years back. But it was written, dedicated to a soldier named Joe Dwyer, and he, you know, you can look him up, you know, hear the story or read the story. But yeah, I read the story, and it just touched me, you know, so much. So I just wanted to write a song about it, so I did. And like I said, I haven't played this in forever, so hopefully it's still up in my brain. Yeah, right on. All right, so "Going to War." I joined the army, I took that pledge. Family is poor, can't afford college. I'm going to fight on the greatest country on earth, the land of my father and grandfather's birth. Ship me off to a desert land, got me excited to kill every man. Shots rang out and the bodies fell. Women and children dead, God, I'm in hell. General gave orders and the killing went on. The name of God and country, so goes the song. that's the price tag on life. But I wanna go home and hold my baby and wife. Just got back from my 4th tour. They say I'm a hero the world over. The doctor says I got PTSD. Everything's so crazy, don't know who to believe. It's just getting darker and darker in my head. I wanna leave this world, I wanna get dead. Here I am at the pearly gates, with just one question, God, why? Does man hate? Wow. Like I said, man, I haven't done that in a long time, and it's tripping me out right now to even think about it. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Lots to think about there, I guess. I don't know. It's such a, I don't even know why we went there, right? I don't even know why, but we did, and that's the way it is in life. And just so you know, man, I got all kinds of different songs, and that one, fits in a certain slot. It's kind of maybe, other ones fit other places, but yeah. So, we got that. What else? Yeah, I learned something today. That kind of tripped me out a little bit. So as far as like the mammal, land mass, I don't think this includes like sea mammals. Okay, I think this is just on land. So what percentage of the mammal land mass is made up of humans and cows? And it was like 90 something, like 95, 96% is humans and cows, and like only 4 or 5% is the rest of the land mammals, by mass. I was that just like, I don't remember where I read it. I wish I could point it to you, but these days you can Google something, and especially statistics like that, you can find them pretty easy. But that just blew my mind, man. That just blew my mind, that part, thinking about it like that, and to me, it just immediately was like, that doesn't seem like it's in balance. There's something about that to me that immediately struck me as like, that's not homeostasis there. That's something, that's a distortion, that the human created, and I don't know. There's something about that to me that just don't feel right. It feels sketchy, and yeah. So, anyways, little fact for you. Try to throw those in here and there. So let's read one more poem, and before we tie this up and send it off into the internet, out there into the ether, so we'll just what do we got here? Yeah. I guess it's just better to just pick something, right, and not even think about it. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna pick something, and yeah, and not even think about it. All right, here we go. I've never read this one either, but it's by a woman. I wanted to pick a poem by a woman, so we found one that's by a female poet. Her name is Laurel Ann Bogan, and this poem is titled "The Door for Love and Death." You push the shadow against the wall. Open the door for love and death. What rooms are rented there? In the room of exquisite torture, a woman watches her lover shave. In the room of hopeless romantic, a man weeps before a portrait of Voltaire. In the room of maternal instinct, the rose is embalmed. In the room of amorous adventure, both doors hide the tiger. In the room of my life, I give up one and love the other. Ooh. Man. Right on. There's something about poetry. I know it's not everybody's thing, but it's definitely mine. You know, I definitely dig it. All art, for that matter. It's, you know, painting, song, sculpture, dance, crochet, basket weaving. You know, you name cooking, you name it. It's an art form, and making our life a work of art is I think a really fascinating way to see how you go about it. You know, finding those little creative moments in our lives to like inspire us. You know, and then when we get inspired, you know, like I was talking about earlier about that web of life, that inspiration is contagious. Inspiration is contagious. It's time to rearrange this. Discover the bliss in the twists and the turns, the sun and the worms, the smiles and the tears, the courage and the fears. So take my hand and come to understand as we walk this promised land. No expectations, no demands. Yeah, sometimes I just like to riff, you know. I'm not even sure what's gonna come up, but sometimes it's all right. Sometimes it's just it's trash. But you know, it's just part of expression, and you know, what have you. So, all right, I think we'll finish up for today. And I just wanted to say a sincere thank you to anyone who happened to tune into this, and you know. Until next time, this is your host, Stone Petoskey, getting